I paid $30,000 for a luxury anniversary trip, and she gave my seat to her ex. No warning, no explanation, just a text saying he was more fun. That line, it kept echoing in my head while I stood in the kitchen, coffee growing cold in my hand, screen still glowing. More fun, like I was some outdated app she could delete. Before we dive into how I dismantled their little fantasy vacation, don't forget to hit like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more stories where karma does its job right. I had planned the trip for months: 5-star hotels, private desert tours, candlelit dinners under open skies. It was supposed to be our reset, our new chapter after a rocky year. But instead, Olivia rewrote the story without me in it. When I asked her why my name wasn't on the new itinerary, her mother answered. Not Olivia, her mother, she said, dripping with false sweetness. He's more fun anyway. And that was it. That was my replacement. They didn't even try to hide it. Olivia followed up minutes later with a message. Don't be dramatic. It's just a seat. But it wasn't. It was a message. Loud and clear. You're not wanted. Not needed. Not even considered. And the new guest taking my place? Michael, her ex. The same man she promised had been long gone from her life. The one she called ancient history. The one I said I didn't want near us. But apparently, she missed the way he made her feel. And now I was the obstacle to her nostalgia. I didn't scream. I didn't respond with rage. I just stared at the text. And everything inside me froze. Not with sadness, but calculation. Because 2 weeks ago, I saw something. A message on her iPad while she was in the shower. You still think about me, huh? Michael. Right there, on the screen, bold as betrayal. I didn't touch it, just watched, as the truth revealed itself without needing permission. And in that moment, I didn't confront. I began collecting. And what I found next would rip apart everything she tried to hide. After that first message from Michael, I didn't act. I adapted. Olivia thought I was still oblivious, still her loyal, blind husband planning anniversary surprises, while she messaged a ghost from the past. But the truth? I stopped being her husband that day. I became her shadow. She got cautious, started using Signal, Telegram, Instagram, DMs. She thought that made her smart. What she forgot was that I set up her phone plan. The metadata, the login alerts, the iCloud backups, all mine. And so I watched. Each late-night message, each meme, disguised as flirting, each lowercase, you made me feel alive again, as if lowercase made it more intimate, more real. She even reused the photo I took of her in Morocco, the one where her eyes caught the desert light like a secret. She sent that to him. Bait, dressed in memories we built together. And he responded. Oh, did he? Planning, teasing, slipping into fantasies of what he'd do once they were alone in Dubai. They had a private chat titled Moonlight, like they were teenagers, not adulterers. One message stood out. I still remember the timestamp. 2:47 a.m. Can't wait to see how your mom reacts when she finds out I'm staying in the same room. That room was mine. That bed, the same one I paid for, down to the pillows customized with our initials. And now she was gifting it to him, with her mother's blessing. That night, I didn't sleep. I lay beside her, listening to her soft breathing, while my heart pounded like a war drum in my chest. I didn't move. I didn't speak. I just stared at the ceiling and started planning. Not revenge. Not yet. Just certainty. I needed to be sure. So I began building the folder. Screenshot after screenshot. Dates, names, apps, timestamps. Every image labeled, archived, protected. For when the time came to burn everything down, and it would come, sooner than she ever imagined. It was a Tuesday morning. The kitchen smelled like cinnamon toast, and the sunlight spilled across the counter like it had every other day for years. She was scrolling her phone, laughing at something I'd never see. I sipped my coffee, calmly, and pressed send. No subject line, no message body, just an email, one folder, titled, "For When You Pretend I Didn't Know." I watched her screen as the notification popped up. She tapped it. Her laugh died, and her fingers went still. Not a word, not even a gasp, just wide eyes and pale cheeks, like someone watching a video of their own funeral. The color drained from her face as she scrolled. I knew the moment she hit the photo of Michael shirtless in our hotel suite, the one he sent to her with the caption, "You ready to break the bed yet?" Her lips parted slightly, but no words came out, just that stunned, hunted silence. "You weren't supposed to see that," she finally whispered, phone trembling in her hand, like it burned to touch it. That line, that one perfect sentence, was all the confirmation I'd been waiting for. Not a denial, not a defense, just the broken, breathless sound of someone caught mid-lie. I stood, slow and steady, walked to the sink, poured my coffee down the drain, not in anger, in closure. "How long were you going to lie?" I asked, not raising my voice, not needing to. My calm scared her, more than rage ever could. She didn't answer. Couldn't. Her eyes stayed locked on the screen, as if it still had a chance to change what it revealed. She left for the trip 3 days later. No apology, no tearful explanation, just a suitcase, forced smiles, and a lie held together with mascara and desperation. She pretended it wasn't happening, that Michael was just tagging along, that it wasn't betrayal, but coincidence. I didn't argue. I kissed her forehead at the airport, carried her bags, just like always. But what she didn't know was that I had already pulled the first thread. She boarded the flight wearing designer sunglasses, faux serenity, and a smile stretched too tight. Michael followed behind her, smug, unaware. They looked like a couple straight out of an influencer ad, until the airline clerk said the first words that cracked her illusion. "There seems to be a problem with your seat upgrades. I had canceled them the night before. No priority boarding, no champagne welcome, no flatbed comfort." They stood in the terminal like everyone else, bags at their feet, surrounded by crying babies and impatient businessmen. She looked around, confused, scanning for someone to blame, but the only person missing was me. By the time they landed in Dubai, the dominoes were already falling. The private transfer I booked? Gone. Replaced with a dusty shuttle packed with sweaty tourists. The butler service at the hotel? Suspended. The premium suite they expected? Blocked. Why? Because I rerouted every single payment through an escrow account, one that required my signature to release funds, which of course never came. They were checked into a basic room instead. No ocean view, no welcome wine, no rooftop jacuzzi, just peeling wallpaper, a leaking faucet, and a mattress that squeaked like it was warning them. She tried calling me once, just once. I let it ring, then blocked the number. But that was only half the plan. The other half was already making its way into Michael's life like poison in a glass of wine. His fiancée, yes, the one he'd conveniently forgotten to mention, received a package. Inside was a flash drive. It contained everything: screenshots, messages, photos, voice memos, a full digital autopsy of the affair, time-stamped, geolocated, undeniable. And yes, she opened it. And yes, she responded. I didn't need to see the fight that happened next. I didn't need to hear the yelling, the crying, the slaps of betrayal. I only needed to wait, because some explosions are better heard from a distance. The gallery was supposed to be Olivia's crowning moment. A soft launch, exclusive guests, champagne fountains, string quartet in the corner. I wasn't invited, of course, but I knew the date. I knew everything. Her mother arrived early, always the social vulture, perfectly manicured, dripping in judgment, expecting a red carpet to her daughter's triumph. What she got was fire. Michael was already inside, nervously scrolling through his phone, face pale. His fiancée hadn't just received the flash drive. She'd posted a few highlights. A public story. The comment section exploded. And her mother, well, someone forwarded it to her, before she even got to the entrance. I imagined her reading it in the back seat of her car, lips pursed, fury curling like smoke behind her eyes. Then, silence. The kind that feels like a countdown. She didn't storm in. She glided in, cold, regal, lethal. I wasn't there to see it, but I had a source. The gallery assistant, a college student who hated Olivia's guts. She sent me voice notes after it happened. Her mother walked up to the bar, poured herself a glass of champagne, then asked, calmly, "Where's the liar? Not where's my daughter, not what happened. Where's the liar?" And Olivia knew. The moment she turned around and saw her mother's face, she knew. Her mom didn't yell, she whispered. And somehow, that made it worse. "You humiliated me." For him? Michael stepped forward to explain. She shut him down with a look sharp enough to draw blood. Then, she dropped the glass, let it fall and shatter across the marble floor, and walked out without another word. Guests followed, one by one. The room emptied, like rats fleeing a sinking ship. Olivia stood frozen, surrounded by pieces of what was supposed to be her new life. Her face, blank, her hands trembling. But the worst part was yet to come. While Olivia was busy playing gallery queen, I was quietly becoming her silent landlord. See, the original lease for that high-end gallery space? It had been in her friend's name, a placeholder, while Olivia waited on some tax paperwork. I found that friend, Chelsea. The same Chelsea Olivia once mocked for being broke and clingy. Turns out Chelsea didn't appreciate being discarded. One coffee meeting, one generous offer to cover her back rent. And suddenly, Chelsea wasn't just open to talking. She handed over full rights to the lease, legally signed, notarized, and transferred to an anonymous holding company I created 2 weeks earlier with my name behind it. Olivia didn't know, not until the gallery locks changed overnight. She arrived the next morning, latte in hand, already rehearsing her speech for a luxury buyer, only to find the doors sealed. A legal notice taped to the glass. Immediate termination. Trespassing. Prohibited. She called Chelsea first, no answer. Then she called her mother. Then me. I didn't answer either, but I watched her voicemail transcript light up like a dying fire. "You can't do this. I built this." Then silence. "You always wanted to ruin me." But she got that wrong. I didn't want to ruin her. I wanted to remove the illusion that she ever had control, that she could manipulate, lie, and still walk away polished and untouched. A few days later, Chelsea reached out again. She said Olivia was spiraling, calling every lawyer in town, trying to prove some kind of fraud. But there was none. Every document was clean, every step legal. Her dream gallery, gone. Her credibility, shot. And Michael? After the fight with his fiancée and the public shaming, he went radio silent. He didn't show up, didn't text, didn't help. She was alone, just the way she'd left me. Only now, it was her name, being whispered with pity, not mine. But even then, I wasn't done. While Olivia paced behind locked gallery doors, I was already executing the next phase, the one she'd never see coming until the damage was done. She always thought she was careful. New accounts, private credit cards, funds, funneled through her mother's name. But Olivia forgot one thing. I was the one who taught her how to do it. Every shell company she used, I knew the pattern. Every financial move she thought was subtle was painfully predictable. All I had to do was wait. I started slow, quiet withdrawals from our shared investment portfolios, the ones she assumed I'd forgotten about, reallocations through back channels, parked in a trust under my cousin's name, legal, silent, irrevocable. Then came the burn. The luxury car lease, canceled, registered in my name. The joint property in Aspen, sold months ago, actually. She just hadn't noticed the escrow emails I rerouted. The foundation she set up in her name for tax breaks, dissolved. Turns out, being on the board gave me power she never expected me to use. She noticed the bleeding eventually, when her favorite card declined during a shopping trip with her mother. Her mother, who called me furious. This time, I answered. "You petty bastard," she hissed. I smiled. "You raised her, and now you get to watch her drown in the same entitlement you poured into her." Click. That moment, that call, it tasted better than victory, because it wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about balance, correction, clarity. And Olivia? She was unraveling fast. Her messages grew shorter. Her voicemails turned frantic. Her lawyer reached out once trying to negotiate. I didn't respond. I didn't need to. The damage was done. The silence was louder than any confrontation. And the final piece, the one she never thought I'd touch, was already in motion. It was almost too easy. Michael, so smug, so sure of himself, had no idea I even remembered her name. But I did. Her name was Claire. And she wasn't just his fiancée. She was the one person in his life, with a moral compass sharp enough to cut glass. I found her Instagram through a tagged photo, a vineyard proposal, a soft-focused diamond ring. The caption read, "Forever starts now." The date? 3 weeks before the first message he sent to Olivia. So I wrote a single message. No introduction, no drama, just a link. A Dropbox folder, titled, "He Said." It was just a seat. Inside, the screenshots lived and breathed. The messages, the Dubai plans, the picture Olivia sent him wearing the scarf Claire had gifted her, the live call timestamps, even the hotel confirmation that listed Michael and Olivia under the same room. No commentary, no threats, just truth, curated, time-stamped, irrefutable. Claire opened it within 2 hours. I knew because Michael's Instagram went dark shortly after. Then Olivia texted me. "What did you do?" I ignored it. I was waiting for Claire's move, and she didn't disappoint. 3 days later, Olivia's Dubai trip came to an abrupt end in the hotel lobby. Screaming, crying, Claire standing between them, holding Michael's phone like a smoking gun. Witnesses said Claire slapped him, hard, and handed Olivia the ring he'd proposed with, wrapped in a bar napkin. Poetic. They boarded the same flight home, in separate rows. Olivia, weeping into her jacket. Michael with a bruise on his cheek, and no fiancé to return to. I watched the chaos unfold from the comfort of my living room, tea in hand, peace in my chest. But the final cut, the one that would scar them both forever, was still coming. She walked through the door, like she still lived here, like nothing had changed. But everything had. The locks had already been changed, of course. But I knew her. I knew she'd still try her old code first, punch it in like muscle memory, and panic when it blinked red. I imagined her standing there, suitcase by her side, phone in hand, calling me, calling her mother, trying to figure out why the world suddenly stopped revolving around her. She didn't know that I'd been planning this for weeks, that while she was sipping cocktails poolside, I was erasing her from this house. The bedroom, empty. Closet, bathroom drawer, wiped of everything, except a folded towel and a single toothbrush. Mine. Every photo, every framed lie on the wall, gone. What I left was intentional. On the dining table sat one envelope, cream paper, her name in ink, nothing else. She picked it up like it might explode. Inside, a printed document, a formal lease termination notice, her name removed from the property title, evidence of her voluntary departure, her text to her mother saying she'd chosen Michael, and a notice of eviction, effective immediately. And at the bottom, stapled to the final page, a check, not large, not dramatic, just the exact cost of her return ticket from Dubai. The message was simple. "I won't pay for your betrayal, but I'll pay for your exit." Later that night, she sent one last message. "You really think this makes you the good guy?" I stared at it. Let the words sit in my chest. Then I blocked her. Not out of anger, but clarity. Because the truth is, I wasn't trying to be the good guy. I was just done being the fool. I could have ended it with silence, but I wanted a conclusion. One she wouldn't forget. I waited until the weekend, when I knew Olivia would be at her mother's house. They were always louder when they were together, laughing, judging, rewriting the truth to fit their comfort. So I delivered it then. One last envelope. This one wasn't for Olivia. It was addressed to her mother, personally. Inside were 3 things. First, a printed copy of every message exchanged between Olivia and Michael. The ones her mother claimed never existed. The ones she said I had invented, exaggerated, misunderstood. Second, a letter. My words. Measured. Cold. Unmistakably clear. You raised a woman who lies like she breathes, who trades loyalty for thrills, and you protected her like her behavior was normal, like her betrayal was a joke. I should have just laughed off. Now, here's the punchline. The third item in the envelope was a framed photo, one she didn't recognize at first, until she looked closer. It was a still from airport surveillance footage. Olivia and Michael at the gate, holding hands, her kissing his cheek. Time-stamped. The same hour I was driving her to the airport. Only a different terminal. Different ticket. Different flight. She had already planned it. The scream echoed through their hallway. Loud. Sharp. Olivia yelled something back. Then silence. I don't know what happened after that. I don't need to. Because for the first time in months, I didn't feel angry, or hurt, or broken. I felt free. The kind of freedom that comes from cutting every thread that held you down, from burning the mask they made you wear, from watching the house of lies collapse while you walk away. That night, I slept, truly slept. And in the morning, I made coffee, opened the blinds, and breathed air that finally felt like mine. Sometimes justice doesn't roar. Sometimes it doesn't bang the gavel or slam the door. Sometimes it just whispers. I know who I am now, and I'll never be small for anyone again. Have you ever experienced a betrayal that turned into power? Tell your story in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if it hit you hard. You're not alone. And sometimes, silence is the loudest revenge.